Connor from OKFabe. What the hell's going to happen to the WWE in 2019? They may not be here ever again. We don't know what's going to happen. And certainly, Ronda Rousey ate out, or rather had herself eaten by Natalya the other day. So we have a new $11 donation for you. It's not the Trump and Hillary one anymore. It's now a new $11 donation for the holidays. But we're going to talk about the WWE, the future, some of the news today, some of the other news, some of the stuff we heard from some former employees. There's a whole bunch of shit to talk about, including kind of going back to an old Cody Rhodes story and WWE on Fox and this new way of doing things, what's going to happen. It's probably going to be another couple weeks. Get yourself ready. Grab a beer, grab a Xanax, grab a pill, grab some medicine, grab a needle. You're going to need it. Here we go. Tree behind. Christmas is over. I got a dildo. It's come.
You too?
Yeah, you did. Oh, you got one too?
Yeah.
Wow. This is.
I'm surprised it fit in the stocking, but you just try to cram it in there, and
yeah,
you can make it happen. You can make it happen.
As long as it gets in the stocking, I know that I'm going to be okay. If it doesn't get in the stocking, then yeah, it doesn't matter. Even if the stocking is like all ripped to pieces and like shredding everywhere and stuff like that, that's fine too.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to stuff it over and over a couple times, and then, it'll get used to it and all that. It stretches.
Oh, yeah, dude. We got a Stretch Armstrong doll, too. But I that's what I nicknamed my asshole. So let's get ready to go, man.
Wonder what Ronda nicknamed her after Natalya had some salad tossing.
She had some cream pie, man. She had some cream pie. I remember when Terry Reynolds was going to do a podcast with me, do her show with me. And after a while, we did like 3 shows together, and then she heard this show, and she was like, it's a very raunchy show. You guys say a lot of very weird, crazy things, like. And then like slowly, the more time went on that I was talking with her, you could tell that she was getting to realize like maybe I shouldn't do a show with this guy.
No, it's funny. I produced a couple of her episodes of her podcast, right?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I ended up talking. And it's funny. She knew who you were because I mentioned I worked with. And she's like, "Do you do anything?" I'm like, "Not particularly." And she's like, "No, that Joe guy was super sweet, super nice, but man, that show he was warning me about was kind of crazy." And I'm like, "No, it's not that bad." I was trying to be nice as possible, but no, she was super sweet. But it was just she's like, "Yeah, you don't do any of that raunchy stuff like the other guy does." I'm like, not as badly, no.
Yeah, it's weird.
Not on camera anyway.
I have so many of our me and her, we did 4 podcasts with Terry Reynolds. The first one I did with her, she was at a restaurant eating food. It was supposed to be like while she was eating at a restaurant somewhere, and it would be like a conversation. But it just doesn't translate well over Skype, and people kept bringing her food, and it was weird. But I wasn't really producing anything. It was all on her mostly,
right.
And but anyway, and she always, I have her phone number. I mean, we used to text each other. I
still have it too, actually.
Yeah, we'd just be like, oh, hey. And she's like, I think you're a great guy. We really connect well when we do shows. And I'm like, I know, I think it's great. But after a while, like, we couldn't quite get it to work because she would just go through all these things. And I said, now, if you let me control everything, I think we can settle this down, or you may want to have somebody produce it, who's a third party. And because we were all over the place. And so we did 3 until we figured out the format. And then I kept trying to say to her, like, just do a wrestling. Just forget, like, this sort of format that you want to do and do more of the wrestling stuff. And then slide in the personal other stuff afterwards,
Right.
But it just wasn't quite right. But the weird thing was when she heard the show, she started getting worried. And because I'm like, I told her this too. I said, honestly, I'm not your manager or anything, but quite honestly, like, if you do a show with me, what could happen is, because she was starting to show signs of being concerned about certain things, like not about me necessarily, but about everything.
Right.
Like, I won't work with this other guy because this other thing was going on. And I was like, well, if you won't work with him, this could make you look kind of weird. Like, if I do something bizarre on a Friday and then you're doing a show with me, people are going to start coming to you and being like, what's up with this guy you do the show with or whatever. So,
no, and I get that. I mean, I get that from her, because that's why she was asking, like, what was up with my stuff. And I told her, I just talk wrestling stuff. But she was already in the mindset of getting away, not getting away from it, but doing like more half and half, like doing more like, okay, we'll do wrestling stuff. But the thing was, and maybe it was just me not asking the right questions, but like I was not prepared for what level of like detail and depth, I didn't realize how much she really needed, like the assistance with. Like, all of a sudden, like, we're the day before recording, I'm like, hey, by the way, how are we recording this? Like, wait, you don't have the means to record this? I'm like, I do, but no one ever told me. Like,
yep.
it was just kind of like that kind of scrambling last minute, getting show notes and all that stuff. So I was doing a lot more setup than I thought I had to. I thought there was already like a system set in place, but and then after a while I realized, like, okay, this is a lot more than I thought I could do, and a lot more than I don't want to say signed up for, because she kind of made it kind of clear, but I just realized it was like a little much.
Yeah, it's a lot. I gotta tell you something, man. Terry Reynolds, she is sweet. She's a lot of work. She needs like dedication. I mean, and by that I mean she needs somebody dedicated. Like, she's snapping fingers, like, where's this, where's that? Let's go, let's do it. And if you don't have free time, I think that was another issue too. Was the we wanted to record during when I would record Monday Night Raw review. So I'm like, well, this is my income, So like there was a lot of hang-ups. I'm disappointed though, because I really could have. If I had pushed her and said I'll do anything, I would have been doing the show with her. Right. So
yeah, for everybody out there, don't get us wrong. Terry is sweet. Like, not a mean bone in her body.
No, she's great. But, it's just she needs like a lot of stuff to go down, you know what I mean? Like,
that was the big thing.
I need the same stuff she needs, kind of, but I use several different people all over the place. But yeah, I mean, I would love to, like, she does need someone who can dedicate more time. That, or she needs someone who's like super organized with a lot of time to deal with it.
That's not me. Not in the least fucking bit.
That's why it was like, well, her and Conrad would be great. Conrad would help her, I thought, because he's very organized and to the point. Like, when she says, well, what if I do this, and what if I do this, and what if I do this? Sometimes I would be like, oh shit, like, I don't. But like Conrad would be like, and if everybody knows Conrad, co-host with Bruce Pritchard on the biggest podcast of 2018, I think. And Conrad would really be like, well, here's this and here's that, and fuck you, fuck that, and do this. And she could say, like, well, I don't understand this. Well, you got to do this because this and that. And he's like a coach, man. So like
he's very business mindset. Like, he really is. Like, he because it's funny, I was actually listening to he did like a Q&A or something. He's like, well, how'd you get the podcasts to be so successful? Because he does Bruce's, he does Eric Bischoff's, he does Tony Schiavone, he does a bunch of them. And I actually listened to 2 out of the 3 of them.
His preparation is number one. Preparation,
What's that?
dude. His preparation is amazing.
Fucking insane. The level of detail and shit, not just from like the storyline perspective, but like he has like all the fucking numbers there, like the fucking like the pay-per-view vibes, the attendance, the compare, like it's insane how much detail he puts into it. And yeah, if you think he was with Terry, I mean, that would be just off and running.
Beersy says, what happened when? Yeah, that's a big thing. He really goes through. He basically, to me, what Conrad, it's very simple. You know, just nobody thinks of this. Just literally dig through the dirt sheets of the Times in the archives and say, oh, on November 1st, whatever, this was being said. And it's not just the top 3 things that the guy's known for, right? So if some new guy interviews New Jack or something, and he's like, Matt, like, and I bring him up because I saw his name in here because of Terry Reynolds. But, you know, the mass transit incident and a couple other things. And they bring up those same 3 things. You know, whereas Conrad would go back and dig up some other obscure things and be like, why did you get banned from this company after this happened? And then you followed it to this. And he really paints the picture of the story and takes you through the same way you would sort of question somebody before a documentary. Like, we're going to be telling your story from 95 to 98. So, you know, Conrad looks up 2 months of stuff, and then he really has it all drawn out. It's goddamn amazing. It's like that's all he does, and that's what when he does is perfect, and it's better than almost anybody else, and that's why it works so well. And that's why guys like everyone's coming to him. You know, that's why like Bischoff, because these guys could have had a podcast by themselves or with anybody.
Well, Bischoff did, and Bischoff did have one,
and it wasn't as successful. This is way more. This is the most successful now that Bischoff's ever. And I had a 3-hour conversation with Eric Bischoff last year and a half ago about what he was going to do with his podcast. And even to me, I was like, man, I don't know if that's going to, be the best thing. But when you listen to Pritchard and Conrad, you could listen to it all day. Same thing with Conrad and Bischoff, because Bischoff has the answers we all want. And so doesn't Tom, did I say Tom Pritchard?
Yeah, I said Tom Pritchard.
Is that what? Jesus Christ.
Conrad, yeah.
Bruce Pritchard and Conrad. But Conrad extracts the shit that we want to hear, like
it's
everything.
Insane, the level of detail, absolutely insane.
So that's what it is, man. Like if you're a former wrestler or a very important role, and you do a show, I mean, one of the only guys that gets away with doing stuff on his own is JR. JR does get away with doing his own thing. So doesn't Jericho, obviously. But they have so much depth and experience themselves, they can get away with it.
Yeah, but imagine JR's been doing it for fucking what? 40 years.
But imagine if you threw Conrad on a couple episodes with JR, which they may have done already. But that would be crazy because JR knows what he's talking about. But Conrad can really reach in and grab those extra things that we're all thinking that maybe JR didn't get to. And it's not because JR isn't smart or not because JR doesn't know what the people want exactly, but in a way, he
knows how to navigate him around and get him to the point. Yeah,
it's really weird. Like, try to be like Conrad. Anybody out there who's trying to interview people, because it's quite a thing, man. Let me play a donation here. By the way, everybody, there's a new $11 donation. It is. You'll see the $11 donation. It's not the Trump and Hillary thing anymore. It's a different one. And hope you guys all had a good Christmas. Everybody who celebrates and everybody who doesn't celebrate. I hope you look forward to not hearing about Christmas anymore. So
Super chat.
There you go.
Super chat.
I want Ronda Rousey to eat me out. Face with tongue winking face sweat droplets.
Mike,
I love how it reads the emojis.
That is Mike Litoris, and he wants Ronda to eat him out. That's very nice. Thank you for the $3.
Super chat party.
Here's Bry Guy.
Sup, Joe and Connor, what's going on with AJ and Vince?
I don't know, man. We're going to get to that, though. Bry Guy, thank you for the $1.99. We're going to talk about the Vince McMahon, AJ Styles situation. That was something that was that did not get spoiled for us because it was, nobody knew that was going to happen. I think that was smart. It would have been smart if they did a couple more of those things during the show.
I didn't hear about it, and I've seen so many fucking memes. So many memes about the AJ.
Do a little basketball dance off the concrete.
Here's a meme for you.
I mean, I'm just so sick of you little meth head devil worshippers. I'll be honest, I'd like to take a big bite out of your face.
My wife Becky, me the Eagle, Rock and Rolla Balor, Gallows, Anderson, Styles and Sheamus with Tony Storm were taking over WWE with Valor Club aligning with the BCOGs.
Oh, shit.
Happy holidays. Where Jake, face blowing a kiss sign of the horn, smiling face with heart eyes.
Those emojis didn't even make it. You don't want me to go on Alex Jones again? Don't get me started. They took away his PayPal, his MasterCard. This is Nazis. These are the real Nazis in America. First they came for Alex, then they came for you. Then they come for my asshole. Fade to black. Thank you for the $10 donation. We got another one popping in. We'll remember that, though. The AJ Vince thing, we're going to get to that. A lot of things to get to.
Roman Reigns.
Classic.
You're my man.
It's been a while since I heard this donation.
I wanna see you naked.
Need a lighter.
Give me that Superman punch in my rectum. Give me
What
that
is this
Superman punch in my rectum. I don't care if your whole fist goes up my asshole. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns.
Look at that fist go. Look at it.
Fuck you, Joe, and fuck you, Jake. Just kidding. I really hope they use EC3 right. If they don't, I will chop my own cock off and feed it to Q bunch of deer hashies rubbing alcohol to masturbate.
Thank you, Brokenlion, for the $14 Roman Reigns jerking off his wrist donation. Yeah, I mean, I hope they do too, because he just didn't seem to ever work 100% in NXT for me, but he's a guy who could work better on the main roster. I think we all
Merry Christmas, you pussy. Merry Christmas, you pussy. Merry Christmas, you pussy.
First time listener, long time donator. Do you think Papa Chango ever team up with the Godfather?
Schleppy, thank you for the $11. Dude, Schleppy goes first time listener, long time donator. Imagine if he never listened. Schleppy just donated, he never listened.
You ever listen to Joe stuff? No, I actually never heard a single one of his episodes. I just keep throwing donations at him.
Yeah, he just seems like a good person, I guess. I don't know. Or I like to
I don't know
see
why.
him.
The still image with Natalia's nose like just buried, just fucking
They call her her dad was Jim the Anvil Neihart. She is Natalia the Shovel Gobbler. So, oh my god.
I whooped
Thank you, Schleppy. And obviously Godfather and Papa Shango were the same person, for the people out there wondering what the hell that meant.
Wait, what?
I stubbed Santa Claus's ass. Oh well, yeah.
Wait, I almost forgot. Hey Joe, Jake, and Connor from
Oh my god.
Kill all of WWE Creative Kayfabe.
Brokenlion, thanks for the $6.25 Christmas stunner donation. Appreciate that.
Hey, I applied to Creative, man.
I think I've applied to Creative Connor 15 times. Good luck.
Well, now they just changed the qualifications. It no longer says degree required. It says preferred.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's the only reason I fucking applied.
Honestly, though, dude, years ago it said that too. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But okay, so that leads us into this next thing. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if I could, I would take me, you, Jake, and JD, and maybe somebody else, and I would take you into a team and to WWE if I could. Like if I was given they said pick like 4 or 5 people, and maybe another guy too, and I would even JD. I'd even take J fucking D, the guy. I'd even call him. I'd be like, hey JD, I know you hate me. You want a job? That's how fucking awesome I am. I don't think he would ever do that to me. I would call him and say, I want you to come with me and these other guys, and we have a writing team. They told me to get a team together. Come up with your best shit. They told me that. Like, that would be amazing, and I would do that. I literally would do that. I swear to God. Like, it doesn't matter, because I feel like Vince does. You get the people you think that might be the best, or different personalities together. I don't always agree with him, by the way, but like the wheels spin at least in his head. You know what I mean? As opposed to other people. And I don't think I have the best ideas most of the time anyway. I just think I have good, like, initial ideas that get the ball turning, and then someone else makes it better usually. Yeah, I don't know. It would be amazing. But so Jimmy Jacobs has been doing the rounds on multiple different former writer Jimmy Jacobs, then wrestled with Ring of Honor again. He's now writing for TNA Impact. And I don't know. He's been doing the rounds kind of talking about what it's like, at least currently, being a writer in the WWE.
Let's beast!
So it was very interesting to hear him on several different places. He did a thing with Sean Ross Sapp. He did a few other transcribed things I read from different outlets or whatever the case is. Maybe we should hit him up because he must be available. He must be looking to plug things or something because he's going everywhere.
I'm sure. I know he's probably doing the indie scene right now, and I know he is writing for Impact, which remind me to mention about Impact because of their, fourth TV deal now that they're going to?
Yeah, this is their fourth TV deal. And I thought maybe even the fifth. And, it's one of those things where he's like, well, we're doing so much better now, new great things at Impact. And it's like they're always doing that. Impact, that's why I'm so worn out on Impact. I think this is why wrestling fans are worn out in general. Ring of Honor has been raped for all their talent. To me, yeah. Ring of Honor misses taking it a step further. That's what I feel like. Ring of Honor doesn't go an extra step that they could go as far as creative-wise or establishing something. They don't quite do it. They just kind of say, we're Ring of Honor, look at the product, and now we wrestle. And they come up with some things, but they really don't take it to a different level that I feel like they should try to take it to. And I don't know exactly what I'm saying, but,
No, I hear what you're saying.
You're missing something.
I don't want to say they're complacent because that's not the right word, but it's like the best one I can think of. Is that they're good with where they're at right now. They got the Honor Club. They have their own streaming service. They're on Fight. They have they're doing the Garden Show during WrestleMania weekend. They're doing killer business with New Japan. Yeah, I feel like they're like, it's not that, I don't want to say complacent. That doesn't sound like the right word, but that's the only one I can think of. It's like, yeah, we're getting there. We're kind of up there, but not like, yeah, we're okay where we're at though. They don't want to go any further.
You're right. JD does steal most of his stuff from Solid Monster, so that is true. Maybe I wouldn't take him. If you don't believe me, go listen to Solid Monster, by the way. If you don't believe him, listen to him and then listen to JD. He just ripped off everything he does. But whatever. And he used to always talk to me about him. When I first met JD, he used to be like, Solid Monster. I'd be like, yeah, I'm familiar with him. I listen to him once in a while, I guess. But then I'd hear JD doing the same things, and I'm like, oh, you're definitely a fan of him, I can tell. But now recently I've been listening to him, I'm like, wow, he is that guy. But whatever, I might take him anyway. But still, I might go after Russo and Cornette, too. I'd make sure to get them. That they probably wouldn't be allowed to come, but whatever.
That'd be interesting to see the two of them go at it.
And then we're Paul Heyman's in charge. Everybody, there he is, Paul Heyman. Now you guys, but no. So you got Ring of Honor seeming a little bit stale, complacent. It's kind of what WWE is like, except for a different way.
Yeah.
Then you got Impact Wrestling, who just people are afraid to trust them. They burned so many bridges with fans who, they supported Impact Wrestling at one point or another. Whether you supported them way back in the day. You supported them when AJ Styles was hot there, and then they went and brought Hogan in and you got pissed. You might have supported him, and then after that, they got gutted. So now you didn't trust him again. And then eventually they tried something, it was stale. And then they brought in the whole Matt Hardy thing, and the roster became one of the best rosters creatively in a while. And that lasted 8 months. 8 months, and Hardys were gone. EC3 ended up leaving. Everybody ended up leaving. The whole turnover with the owl fucker or whatever the hell they were with the Canada company coming in and whatever that guy's name was and
Nordholm.
Oh, Ed Nordholm, and who will ever forget Eric Barnes? Who will ever forget Eric Barnes from TNA Wrestling, who said that I could have TNA wrestlers on at any point, and then was a cunt. And so much so that when I told Matt Hardy about the story behind the scenes, he actually played along with it and talked about how he would eat Eric Barnes' soul or whatever it was. And that killed me.
They mentioned him on the Edge of Christian show. Ed Nordholm, yeah.
Oh.
It was kind of funny. They did a thing where it was obviously, for those of you who haven't seen the Edge of Christian show, it's more of a comedy thing, and so they have Edge and Christian like in what do you call it? In fucking like a camping outfit, like they're in a tent, and Matt Hardy shows up because they end up on their he's on Matt's property and he doesn't know, and it's funny because like Wait, Edge pitched a tent on Matt's property. Not the first time that's happened. And then later, he's like reading them a story. He's reading Good Night Moon, and he's doing it in the broken, like Good Night Moon, and then finally goes Good Night Owl and Good Night Mr. Nordholm, and it just looks right at the camera and it just keeps on going. I'm like, fuck, I missed that first time, but yeah,
that's really funny.
Yeah,
no, dude, that's what a weird situation that whole thing was. Ed Nordholm was like, they wanted to kill this man, and then they like made up at the end. But no, that show's really good. That's like one of the better things on the network, if not.
Yeah.
Like really, no, right now it's like one of the better things. In fact, this is season 2, right? Did they release all the episodes?
No, I think they only did the first 4 so far. But so they're in the middle of it now. But yeah, so far it's good stuff, just as good as the first one. So
this leads me in the slow build of me talking about this. By the way, yes, all the donations are on. Some people are just getting into the show right now. Super chats are working, guys. Twitch alerts and Streamlabs donations work down below as always. If you guys want to support my show here, we'll play the donations during our we have these little breaks that we do. I pause them and then play them. There's a new $11 donation, so that's Ronda Rousey getting her ass eaten by Natalya. But no, so Impact Wrestling is doing its reset. People don't quite have the trust in that. Ring of Honor is kind of, it's okay. It's just kind of like stale at the moment, just kind of doing its thing. It's right where it is. And then New Japan is New Japan. Again, there's a little bit of an audience for that. But again, there's no, they don't have the women wrestling really. They don't have.
It's a niche.
Yeah, they don't have the storytelling as much. They sort of tell these quick stories, but they're better than WWE. But and again, the wrestling style is different. Not everybody can get into that. So again, it's a small niche. It's a small one, and like I feel like NXT still does the best job of all these places. And there's this group of wrestling fans looking for this fucking product out there. And if the Elite Wrestling or whatever the hell they call it, if they can launch something that could take off, that could become something big. At least it could take off as big as NXT. Now, I don't know what kind of new fans. Here's the problem with everything. Here's the problem with Impact, the problem with WWE, the problem with Ring of Honor, the problem with New Japan, the problem with NXT. The problem with every single one of these brands and whatever is going to happen, and the problem with the new one that could launch with Cody Rhodes in them, how the hell is anybody going to create new wrestling fans? Because that is the problem. You would hope to see WWE become huge, so much so that new wrestling fans start looking around for other wrestling, and then they fall into the Ring of Honors and the Impacts and the other stuff. But what you're seeing is so many of the WWE people leaving that you're not necessarily seeing them leave WWE for these other companies. You're seeing a small group of WWE fans watching these other things. But that's it. No one is generating new fans really. Nobody is doing that. What I mean, TNA Impact, when the Matt Hardy stuff was going on, remember that? They were drawing 600,000, 500,000, but usually they'd be around 300,000 or 400,000 viewers. Now, what are they at?
They're barely clearing 100,000.
That is so bad. Everything is dying. Everything is dying. Impact's going to go out of business, maybe. Maybe. We said that for 50,000 years. They should be going out of business. I mean, when will Impact go out of business? When they have 70,000 fans? No, I don't want them to go out of business. In fact, and I don't know what the answer is at this point, but they're not going to get new fans on Popcorn 2 or whatever channel they're on. I don't know. How are anybody going to find these guys?
I think the only way you can get new fans is if you transcend the business, like Hogan did, like Rock, like Austin to an extent, like Cena did to an extent. That's the only way, because people don't. That's the only way you're gonna get new fans. You have your niche, you have your diehards like us. They're gonna watch no matter what. But I mean, I at least applaud Impact a little bit, because I think they tried to do that when Lashley was there with Bellator, and they tried to make him like, okay, he's also doing MMA and Bellator, and they were trying to maybe get some other eyeballs invested, which I thought was kind of smart.
But it never works with the MMA guys, because the MMA fans go, that pussy shit over there. Like
no, yeah,
that,
but
that
it
fake
wouldn't.
shit.
It's not a good long term thing. No way. But that's really the only way I can think because you can't.
By the way, Connor, they got to stop. I think they need to friggin' stop bringing in the MMA guys because every time WWE brings in the MMA guys or TNA or anybody, all it does is make some of the adrenaline junkie, angsty teen male fans. All it makes them think is, oh shit, I'm gonna go watch MMA where a guy gets punched and bloodied in a real fight, rather than watch this scripted crap that's kind of like getting stale to me. So they're literally, I believe, hurting themselves every time. Even with Lesnar, with all this stuff. I know ticket sales go up a little bit, ratings go up a little bit, so they don't consider it that way. But I consider it like that. If I was WWE, I would do everything I could to avoid speaking of or even telling. I would pretend MMA didn't exist if I was wrestling
for a while.
Right, and they should because that's your competition that you will lose your fans to. No MMA guy is like, hey guys, let's watch WWE. That was shit's no. They're all like, this is gay. Like that's what they say. Like these guys don't want to watch wrestling. They call it lame.
Yeah, it won't work. I think at first it was a smart idea because MMA and WWE at the time was very comparable and kind of, I mean, it's completely two fucking separate worlds. I don't want to fucking like compare the two in that regard. But
I love both. I love both. I have no problem. I love both.
But I think they were smart to do it at the beginning. But now they're just abusing it to the point where, yeah, you're right. It's like, oh, so Lesnar was winning a legit fight, huh? That's cool. Let's see him go defend the Universal I'm sorry, you said this is sports entertainment? Okay. All right. Do you see him fucking break that guy's arm though? Like, you know, like exactly. It's fucking apples and oranges. But if they did something different where they transcended WWE into like a mainstream movie while still keeping them within the WWE bubble, that's really the best way they can attract. That's the only way I can think of it. There's no other. I can't think of it legitimately any other way. That's what happened with Hogan. Hogan did Rocky III. He left the AWA, came to WWF, and took off. Rock was the megastar that came out of the Attitude Era. Cena was the one that came out of the Ruthless Aggression, and that was kind of more of a mix. But really, that's it. And sad to say, I can't think of anyone right now on the current roster for WWE off the top of my head that could have that same kind of like overall drawing power.
None of them do. Nobody on the roster. We've been over this a million times. Nobody compares. And here's the thing. Every single time there's a boom in wrestling, believe it or not, it starts with WWE. No matter what, it starts with WWE because, in the 80s, we had, what we had with... Now, what you would call the territories back in the day were certainly bigger. Even the territories back in the day are bigger than the strongest independent companies now. Like, Ring of Honor or whatever.
Because there's no competition.
Yeah. So there's just nothing. So they were bigger then, and then the WWE comes in, and when they do WrestleMania with Hogan and all that stuff, they blow up. So they launch a whole new. They become mainstream. Wrestling becomes mainstream in the 80s, and then when it slowly starts dying in the early 90s, mid 90s, then a lot of people would say, oh, well, what about WCW? WCW came in. Yeah, but Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan all came from WWE. So if there's no WWE, there is no Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. So WCW never blows up. WCW never becomes Nitro and never becomes that. That just doesn't happen because they don't have the former megastars from the WWE to do it. So with no WWE, there's no WCW, and with no WCW, there's no ratings war to make WWF go crazy and have the Attitude Era and have Stone Cold and have all these things. So it all starts with WWE. And if you want to call WWE now the catalyst of wrestling nowadays and in the past 30 years since they destroyed the territories, it starts with WWE. So none of this, unfortunately, again, none of this will get better. Ring of Honor won't get better. TNA Impact will not get better because they've all lost ratings. They've all lost attendance. So despite the fact that for every guy that goes, F WWE, I'm going to Ring of Honor tonight, or I'm going to this show tonight, the audience there's audience that just completely leaves all of wrestling. Some of this stuff is growing a little bit, but again, if I do a video on Ring of Honor or even NXT, it's small. It doesn't draw a lot of numbers at all.
No, and you have to think of it like this: like WWE is the end all be all. I don't give a shit what anybody says. It is. It's the end all be all. I've heard people recently argue that other companies are just as equal. Like bull fucking shit. But anyway, so WWE is the end all be all, right? And to an extent, it has its own niche market. It's a niche market. So you're going to take that audience and you're going to cut it down even further with Ring of Honor and Impact and New Japan. So you're going to take a niche audience and shrink it down even further. That's just There's a reason that I don't cover any other stuff usually than WWE.
Can you imagine what would happen though? Like this is the bottom line, and everybody needs to know this. This is it even kind of works. You could even use a show like mine as an example, right? I know this is going to sound somewhat narcissistic.
Go for it.
But I'm going to say it anyway. So when I started with a small audience, didn't have any whatever, but over the last 6 years, I was lucky enough to build my audience up to where it is. Now, I don't really have 60,000 subs. Most of my subs are dead subs or people that don't even watch that much anymore or whatever else. I've really only got about 5,000 people that actively tune in for this or that. Most other people aren't tuning in or once in a while come back. But most of my subs, it's about 5,000 active people here on my channel. But, I would say like on your channel, I don't know how many you have right now, but yours have grown. But, so we've got Connor from OKFabe. We've got like Ken's deal. We've got so many different other people. Jake DeMarco doesn't even do a show anymore. But the bottom line is if I'm doing well, and someone goes, oh, yeah, well, I need some more wrestling talk, I'm going to go check out Connor. I liked him on that show, and I really loved the wrestling talk, and now I'm going to go listen to Connor, too. Like, that's good. That means that's good news. That means, like, they were so happy with what we did here that now they want more, and they liked you, so now they're going to listen to you. But if we do Out of Nowhere, and the show tonight just blew or sucked ass or whatever, somebody eventually goes, and they turn it off, and they go to bed. Now they don't think, let me go check out Connor. They think, well, Joe's show kind of put me to sleep tonight, and then I decided to go to bed. But if they're like, wow, that was funny or informative or I enjoyed it, I'm going to check out more. So if WWE would get their heads out of their ass and they brought in a megastar or created a megastar or created mega entertainment enough that another million people tuned in instead of leaving, and we saw 3.5 come back or a 4 million viewership, well, then you would see Ring of Honor numbers go up and NXT numbers go up and my ratings would go up on this show. And it would all get bigger and bigger. And what would happen is if WWE could ever get back to 6 million, right? And they got back to 6 million and that would be creating new fans and new viewers. Somebody who said, I've never given wrestling a try. Let me check it out. That happens all the time. Someone tunes in by accident. Someone checks it out for once. Someone's shown it by somebody. Somebody hears about it in school or from friends, and they're like, I got to see what that's about. Or they see a highlight of something, and then they become a fan of it, and they tune in. What happens now is they see it, and they go, this is retarded, and they turn it off. But like if it was good, they'd be like, damn, I got to get involved in this. This I'm hooked on this shit now. And then what would happen is one of those other companies could rise, like Ring of Honor or Being Elite, whatever they are. Impact Wrestling was kind of doing it at one point. There was talks, and now it's laughable. Now it's not even anything. 100,000 people watching Impact, get the fuck out of here now. But at one point, when they had 800,000, if they had gotten up to 1 million, to 2 million, to 3 million, and then Impact made a move for like CM Punk or somebody like that, now you're talking about a rivalry. Now you're talking about something real. But we can never even get close to that because WWE is so tarred that nothing else will grow, and they are the catalyst. I mean, seriously, they are the catalyst. It's weird.
I just never heard it worded that way. That's why I was laughing.
I know. That's why I said it. No one's ever said that. No one said WWE is so tarred. That's one of those words why probably Terry Reynolds couldn't work with me. But they are tarred, man. They are like the IQ test came back. It's a 62.
Now available on Teespring at Joe Cronin's Teespring store.
WWE equals tarred.
I should make that logo for you. I'll get right on it.
Yeah, see, there you go. Look at the big bad ad said the introduction to wrestling was video games. So, see what happened? See, is leaving? Bye, Sean. Bye. Oh, yeah, Leah's not leaving. Well, Leah's brother was over, so he's leaving. But Leah doesn't have to leave because she's in her PJs. He's getting picked up.
And she lives here.
she has to live here. Well, this could be our last week in this place. So.
Oh yeah, I was about to ask, like, is that going? You guys crazy packing and shit?
Well, there's shit everywhere from Christmas. So Brad's like, I mean, Sean's like stepping all over shit. Like, oh, this fucking mess in here, because this place is like my mother's shit is everywhere, and our shit is in front of all her shit. So all the kid shit is in front of her shit, and our shit's everywhere on our shit. So like people always laugh at my videos. They're like, "You fucking Joe's a hoarder, or Joe's lives in a mess." And it's like, no, I'm not really a hoarder. It's just there's 2 rooms, 3 kids, 2 adults, and stuff that's already here that won't be moved. So it's really
and a dog who barks at rats in the morning, right?
And a dog, yeah, dude, my dog. Oh my god, dude,
I saw that on Twitter. I'm like, gee, fucking dude, Joe can't win for this holiday season.
I fell asleep at 3 a.m, and at 5 a.m, I wake up to my dog barking, and I'm like, that's not normal. And then she's going, and I'm like, what the? And so I know something's up, because she doesn't do that unless there's somebody, like something bad happening, or like not even the mailman anymore. But if there was some guy, one time there was a guy outside surveying the land or something, from the city, didn't knock, he just started walking around the house. I'm like, dude, I almost came outside and like told you, and the dog was going. So I'm like, okay, someone's trying to break in the house or something. So
it's just me getting a sandwich. What's up, Joe?
Yeah. Dude, one time my buddy Feeney did that, and I was like, dude, you're lucky my dog didn't bite your nuts off. And he was outside, though. He never got in. But it was, and I'm like, I grabbed a bat and a knife, dude. I had a bat and a knife. It was really weird. And somebody was laughing about that on Twitter. They were like, a bat and a knife? I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't fuck around.
You don't need a bat and a knife. You just need a fucking keyboard from what I've seen. Jesus.
Yeah, I could tool someone. I could really kill someone with a keyboard. I'm convinced of it. But then I hear the noise in the trash barrel. And then I see something scurry across the floor. And the dog fucking waffled it over. And then it ran and hid in a corner and took off through the wall or whatever. And then the other one was stuck in the trash barrel. So I threw the trash barrel outside. And it was about 5 days ago that I was in the basement getting ready to get some of our stuff together to get out of here when we move.
Yeah.
And I look down the end of the basement, and by the way, the basement is fucked. It is wrecked with just shit. There's just so much shit. So, because when my grandmother died, my mother decided to take the stuff.
Yep.
For some reason, and there's pink insulation, and I can see it hanging in the middle of the room, and I'm like,
oh shit!
It's from cobwebs, spider webs. It's getting stuck, and I'm like, why is it there though? So then I go down, I look up, and I see there's wood chips everywhere, and I'm like, oh shit, there's fucking mice. They're making a nest, and I'm like, I haven't seen mice in 8 years here, and I was like, what the fuck? And it started ever since they tore down a couple houses around the block.
Yeah,
they tore down houses that apparently were like infested with mice, because none of the houses looked like they would be, but then these 2 houses were old, and they were, and ever since they did that, they've been scattered everywhere. And anyway,
so good fucking timing.
So I couldn't get back to sleep last night. To shorten this story and end it, I couldn't get back to sleep last night, and I was just fucking miserable. That's why on Twitter I was like, fucking mice. Because I couldn't go back to sleep. WWE should be on Twitch, fucking PWP Nation. Shout out to PWP Nation, by the way. Check out the website. Great wrestling news over there that you can't get everywhere else. A lot of good in-depth articles in their own little podcast over there, too. So my plan is to get everything moved out, hopefully over the next week. We move stuff out, and once we get out of here, then we can call I just tell my mom, hey, call the exterminator, because they won't do the poison stuff now because the kids.
Right, yeah.
Plus there won't be food, you know what I mean? There's like, we're eating food all the time, and kids are leaving, crackers here or there, and you really got to go through everything to clean it up because there's shit everywhere.
I'm just laughing at you like, bye mom, by the way, you might want to call an exterminator. See ya, peace out.
Yeah, we're out of here. Have fun. Have fun with the mice. We'll be out of here.
Have fun with the mice, Ma.
I think I don't know what she's gonna do with this place. Turn it into like a full-on duplex, or just sell the house as one whole. I don't know what she's gonna do, but yeah, it'll be. I think I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad we're leaving now that that's going on. But still,
if you need a hand moving, let me know.
Oh yeah, I'll call you. It'll be a lot of fun.
I don't know how much use I'll be, but
Yeah, Yeah, I'll pay you. I'll give you some beer and money, and my buddy's coming over too for that. So, and then Troy might come too. So yeah, me, you, Troy, and my buddy Bobby, SW Wolf. We could all play some wiffle ball out back. Be a good time. We could scare the shit out of the neighbors. Anyway, where the let me play a donation, and then we'll figure out where I left off in my rant about how WWE needs to. Well, I think we pretty much ended it with, you know, they need to do something because they are the leaders at this point, and nobody else is going to be able to take the charge. Maybe the being elite thing could maybe take off with buzz, but to be honest, I feel like if anything would have taken off, it would be NXT, and even that is hit a ceiling. You know, where even though it's amazing, it is the best wrestling I see anywhere. My favorite thing out of anything, and it's even hit a ceiling. There's you can't go up because it's not really creating new fans. Now, if it goes on Fox TV, what if it goes on Fox TV though in the future, right? If it goes on,
probably will from what I'm hearing.
And if it does that, maybe that will get new eyes on it, and maybe people will see SmackDown and they'll say this is retarded. But maybe they'll see NXT and they'll be like, "Damn, these guys are actually crazy. This is kind of cool." And maybe that will actually grow an audience.
I just worry that they're gonna squash NXT before, you know what I mean? Like, because we've talked. I think we talked about this on the last episode or two. It's like, oh shit, WWE does not know how to handle momentum on something they never planned.
Right.
And I'm worried that if that's the case, where NXT goes to Fox and they end up killing SmackDown's rating, which would be absolutely hilarious. If we bring those stars over to SmackDown, then the rating should transfer over. And it's like,
what do you think about this? What if NXT took off and it garnered 3 million viewers somehow?
Jesus.
And SmackDown was down to 2 or 2.5 or 2.3. Would you think that they would actually just say, "Dude, let's scrap SmackDown and call it NXT"? I mean, I don't know if they can contractually, because now they're contractually obligated to that name. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love for them to do that, but I don't think they would ever. I don't think they ever would. I think that they would be more inclined of, they're watching NXT because of these people. Let's bring these people over to this brand.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you that's what they're gonna do. If they do any sort of like fucking shakeup or whatever after Mania, guarantee you they're probably going to do that. I'm very curious how padded they're going to make SmackDown for Fox.
But dude, that worries me so much that they think that that's the answer. Even Shane said it on SmackDown the other night. Like, we're going to be listening to you, and you wanted new faces. We're going to give those to you. But it's like, no, because you give us the new faces and you turn them stale. But in NXT, they stay fresh. So
there's a difference between listening and actually acting on it.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, you still got. I mean, I guess you can say that they might be listening a bit because they've brought the Revival back up to another peg. Gable and Bobby Roode, they all had a good match on that Raw show. That was
I'm not doubting that, but you can see the ploy. Like, you can see it's. To it. It's just, by the way.
Yeah, we're going to use these guys. I mean, no, I get that too, and I don't mind that if they're going to use them. If they are going to use them. You know, and you're really going to do stuff like you did in NXT with these guys, then, oh my God, is this a great idea? Because now now the new audience is going to get why they're awesome. The new audience is going to get why Sasha Banks is awesome. Instead of scratching their heads saying, "I don't get why she's the boss. I don't even get this." Oh, Bayley, you know, I don't quite get the whole hugging thing. But yet fall in love with Becky because she basically stayed off in the back and then allowed the fans to embrace her naturally. Whereas the WWE pushed them for what they did in NXT. So, we're putting Sasha on this level for all these people, but they don't know why she's on that level. So then she doesn't succeed, which is so you got to balance these two arguments, right? The first argument is the hardcore fans saying, like Matt the Misfit would say this, "Why is Sasha being booked so weak or whatever? She was a boss in NXT." Or, "Why is this person being pushed to the high heavens when they were, you know, when nobody knows who they are yet?" So, like, the key to me is when you bring someone up from NXT, you have to reflect on their past accomplishments kind of by giving them some clout. But now you have to sort of retell their story all over again and try to almost replicate what worked in NXT with the new fans so the casual fans understand who they are. Because if you just bring them up like this is what they've done, the casual fans don't give a shit, and the other fans have already seen them do great things. So you dumbed them down for the people that held them high, and for the people that don't know who they are,
You're putting them up too high.
Yeah.
But they can do that with vignettes though and shit like that. Like
Right.
I mean, granted, they still see NXT as a developmental territory, but you could very easily spin it. It's the fact that we say it all the time. Like the announcers, the commentators, they can make or break a guy. That's JR, all the other people in the past, they can really build up where they can crush somebody. Even Flair said this before, like they can make or break a superstar.
Oh, that's the other thing. They have nobody to build them up on commentary now. It's garbage.
Right. Yeah. And so if you just did like little things like that, like the Lars Sullivan shit, I thought was, until they just decided, we're going to call up 6 of them, I thought was genius, because you're making him seem important, and you have like the footage to back up. Or you could, if you had someone who's more decorated, like someone who had won a championship or 2 or something, you could, it's all about the presentation. Yeah, it seems kind of, for the casuals, it seems almost, no pun intended, out of nowhere that they're pushing this person. But if you say, well, listen, look at all these like vignettes, look at these clips, look at all these things that he did, this is how great this guy was here, this is why it's such a big deal over here. And then it's all about the presentation and how you, if they see it as important, it should, not always, it should present to the audience as important.
And that also will make people go, oh shit, this person's coming up. Let me go watch the WWE Network and see what Sasha Banks did with Bayley and all this stuff they're talking about. And then when they come up, it makes more sense. You're right. And yeah, Lars Sullivan, this has been the best. I'm trying to think of the last guy that was, because like Cien Almas had them, but they weren't like this. They weren't very good. It was just like dung dung, like Cien Almas, like, oh yeah, okay, cool. But like Lars Sullivan is getting a, like, dude, like this guy, like the freak thing and everything. It's a wonderful vignette, dude. It's a really good one. It's like one of the best ones, and I'm trying to think of who else had a vignette like this. And even Shinsuke, didn't Shinsuke just kind of came up and he got kind of lost in this whole, like, the artist, this. Why is he the artist? Nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I was at Dallas when he debuted for NXT, right?
Right.
And if you go back and watch the promo, because all it was his debut was against Sami Zayn. There was really not much of a story to it, other than Sami just came back. He was injured. He like had one match on Raw, then he came back and he was going to do basically like his last match in NXT. And everybody fucking knew that's what the case. So his last match in NXT was Shinsuke's for his debut match.
Right.
And NXT did an absolutely beautiful job of hyping up how important it was that Shinsuke was coming. So even if you knew fucking nothing about him or even just heard his name, they had like press releases from Japan. They had like clips of his matches from here, like little things here and there. And even like just like some of the still video shots they do for like entrance videos and shit. But they did such a amazing job of just showing you, holy, like you watch that and go, holy fuck, I can't wait to see what that guy's going to do in NXT. Just in a ring in WWE, even if you fucking knew nothing about him.
Yeah, you gotta get everyone. You gotta get everyone hyped. I mean, like we knew who he was because we watched a lot of the Wrestle Kingdom. So if you even if you're not someone who's a big New Japan guy, but you watch some, you saw Wrestle Kingdom with AJ Styles, and so you knew what the guy could do there. And I just don't understand it. There is no hype. It's sort
just
of
do that.
But you will have fans complain that don't give me a vignette. Just surprise us with the, so like that's the, because there are a lot of people that scream like, why the fuck are they giving it away? But what the answer to that is, right, is that give the vignette, don't say when,
like they did with Sullivan.
Yeah, and so Sullivan, we don't know when or what we don't even know if he's going to SmackDown or Raw. That's great.
Yeah.
So when he does show up, oh, like all the casuals are like, this is the guy we've seen for 8 weeks showing up. Remember the time this didn't work? The ultimate bomb. I bet you can name this. You probably can name this. What was the worst vignette? Because it was one of the last times. This is one of the last. I'm going to tell you one of the last times somebody in a vignette was built up this long, and it was one of the most horrific conclusions ever. And I can think of a few, but the one that instantly comes to you mean like was his debut shitty or just his run in WWE at the end was shitty? I'm going to give you a hint too. This was one of the longest buildups ever for a wrestler vignette of somebody coming in.
For fuck's sake, I think I know who it is.
It's a female.
Yeah, Emelina, right?
Emelina, yes.
Yeah.
The vignettes were just, first of all, you're like, what, Emelina? And then build and build and build and build, and then she came out. Now, the reaction to Emelina was negative, like even from the vignettes right away. So if WWE had any kind of nose, they would have said this kind of isn't quite working. But what's the response for Lars Sullivan? It's positive. Everybody thinks anybody who's like a hardcore wrestling fan of NXT or Smart or whatever you want to call it, they're like, this is cool, this is awesome, I can't wait. Or they're like, they're gonna ruin them. You know, they might have that on their mind too. But anybody who's a casual or somebody else who just watches the main roster stuff. By the way, if you only watch the main roster stuff and you complain, I honestly believe you might be a fucking idiot. Because NXT is so good. NXT is. Even if you don't watch New Japan, you don't watch Ring of Honor, NXT TakeOver, if you don't watch the NXT TakeOvers, I really think something's wrong with you. Like I
don't need to watch the weekly show to enjoy the TakeOver. Because again, they do such a great job of hyping up and building up.
Yes.
And just explaining shit. It's so simple.
Now, that's my criticism, though, of them, is I wish that they would make you have to tune in. Because if you had to tune in weekly to NXT, and then they did those takeovers, this product would be destroying the shit out of everything else anywhere. But
true.
But Emelina was a dud. But no, this is great because everyone's going to know who he is. Casuals who've never seen him before, they're going to know who he is because of the vignettes. And then all of us have been hyped anyway. And it's a surprise, then bam, you got something. But if somebody says, but if they show the Lars Sullivan promo, and then they say, next week, Lars Sullivan debuts, like that's where you split the audience, where some people believe good because ratings will be a little higher, people will tune in for it. I disagree with that. But I think it's got to be random. It's got to be spur of the moment. It's much better because then then the ratings will go up because people will think anything can happen. Is he going to come out this week?
It makes you wonder exactly what they're going to do with him either. I've heard so many different things. I've heard someone say like he should be an enforcer, which I actually don't. I think that's a pretty good idea, but the vignettes make it seem like they're going to push him in a single star. But you come on here, do all the speculation. Where are they going to put him? Who are they going to feud him with? What is he going to do? And just all these different things. So you have to kind of like, you have to tune in. And that's one of the big key things, especially missing in wrestling. And I know the internet's kind of part of that too, but like the concept of must-see TV is almost gone in wrestling. And so if you do something along those lines, you get at least a sliver of what we used to have back in the day.
If I was booking WWE, I'd schedule Lars Sullivan against like Rhino or something to start, maybe. But you could also schedule him against somebody big, like you could even do Rusev if you wanted to destroy Rusev. But
I'm gonna say Ryback.
No, oh my god, yeah, bring Ryback up.
I would do a bidding war with him. You want to make him really important? Have Shane and Stephanie cause a little mini rift, even though they're all on the same page now and running Raw and SmackDown. I think he's better on SmackDown. I think he's better on Raw. And then just, well, where does he want to go? Well, he's not saying. And just build in anticipation. Yeah,
they could do a lot of interesting things with him. But you really got to get this guy out there to destroy somebody pretty quickly. And I don't know what the answer to that is. But it had to be a statement too. I almost don't want to see him come out and just destroy a jobber at this point. You know, I mean maybe, but I kind of almost want him to beat somebody in more important, like above.
I know they're never going to push him this fast, this quick. Mm-hmm. But what I would do is, let's say you have a pay-per-view, right? And you announce, all right, Lars Sullivan is going to make his announcement of where he's going at this pay-per-view. And you have Shane and Triple H and blah, 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 and you have the two contracts. He doesn't say a fucking word the whole time and just ends up throwing both of them through a fucking table or some shit like that and doesn't say anything. And that's it. So it's like, what the fuck?
Wow.
What?
You know,
and then,
yeah, that could be good. Just destruction, like the Brock Lesnar destruction thing.
Sort of, but also, again, like, well, we didn't get our answer. Where is he going? Mm-hmm. Well, you have to figure out and watch both shows to find out now, won't you?
How about somebody said Ryback, and I thought about that myself. I thought, wouldn't it be funny if Ryback came back to the WWE, and they said Ryback is back after, and they give him a 4-week deal or something. Give Ryback a 3-week deal. Give him a 4-week deal. Give Ryback a 4-week deal if he agrees to this. Pay him. He's going to want a lot of money, though. Give him money. Bring back Ryback. Have Ryback destroy a jobber and say Ryback has been out with injury for a long time. He's made his way back through the ranks now, too, and he's back in the WWE. And have Ryback destroy somebody.
Then be a fat guy.
Then have him destroy another guy. Now it's the 3rd week, 4th week. Ryback comes out, jobber, Ryback again. And but now it's Ryback in the middle of the ring, but Jobber don't come out. Lars Sullivan comes out, and Lars Sullivan destroys the shit out of Ryback in like 3 seconds. Ryback is never seen again. I don't know if Ryback would go with that, but it'd be really funny.
No.
It'd be really funny. I mean, you have to give him $500,000, but it'd be funny. I would just die laughing at that, dude. Like, you see Ryback destroying people, like, you know, he's excited to work his way back up the ranks here in the WWE, and Ryback, you know, the people might even pop. They might even pop for him that the first week he comes back, and he's like, finish it, and he destroys the Jobber. Comes out next week, destroys the Jobber, and then Lars Sullivan comes out.
Imagine he does an interview after every Jobber, except for when he gets killed by Lars, and he promotes like, the reason I do so well is because of these Ryback supplements. And then the fucking last week, he's just like, so any comments? No comment. Just walks away and shit.
Dude, how great would that be if he did an interview? You know, he got on the mic and he was like,
I know this is a new WWE, and I promise I'm going to have a promo before the match, and I'm going to have a promo at the end of every match when I get done decimating every single wrestler, every bit of competition here in the WWE.
And so, like, he decimates the Jobber. Then when he gets up to the ramp, like, it's like Corey Graves gets up or somebody and interviews him, and then Corey Graves goes, well, guys, as instructed by Ryback, I'm going to be going to interview Ryback now post-match. And that's the gimmick. So every week, now Corey gets up, interviews Ryback, he goes,
I basically beat the crap out of him, and I'll do that to everybody in the WWE until the end of time. Thanks for your time. Finish it. Don't get shell-shocked.
Maybe they'll let him promote his shit. Then he leaves.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. We'll let you promote your shit.
The next week he comes out, he does the same thing. And again, Corey Graves goes, well, that's the end of the Ryback's match, guys. I'm contractually obligated. Ryback has made it clear that we have to interview him at the end of every one of his matches. And, you know, this goes on 3 weeks, right? And, like, he gets up, interviews Ryback.
I finished him even faster than I finished the guy last week. How does he look to you? Does he look like he's breathing? No, he doesn't, because I finished him.
And it's like, oh, my God. So then that was the third week. And there's Ryback waiting. They're going to introduce the local Jobber guy. Nope, it's Lars Sullivan. He comes out and fucking beats the shit out of Ryback. They bring out a stretcher now for Ryback. They stretcher Ryback to the back. Corey Graves goes, well, guys, I got contractually obligated to go interview Ryback. And he gets up, walks over to Ryback in a neck brace, and Ryback just goes, and they just bring him to the back.
Or he just gives a really high-pitched voice. So, Mr. Ryback, how you feel it?
Fucking, oh my God, dude. Or Ryback could even have said, like, and I'll give, anybody beats me, I'll give them $10,000. So there's Lars in the middle of the ring, like, nah, and he's like, he's fucking eating the money and shit. Like, oh my God, dude, that.
Instead of $10,000, I gave him $10,000 worth of Ryback nutritional supplements.
Oh my God, dude. See, I know that's crazy shit, but like that's the reason why I'm not on the writing team. But that would be hilarious, bro. I would just that type of shit.
Hey, Vince, I got a question. Joe, in our last meeting, he just wanted to know what's the budget to possibly bring Ryback back for 4 weeks. Hear me out. You're gonna want to hear this.
Yeah, and again, he can be like,
feed me more, available on Amazon.
Like he can plug his whole. We're gonna let you plug your shit for free. We're gonna give you fucking $300,000 or whatever it is. You know,
that would be the most watched YouTube video for 4 weeks on the WWE YouTube channel without a fucking shadow of a doubt. Mostly because we would be replaying it.
Yeah, dude. Like the fucking first of all, the pop, because this would get boring. By the fourth week, it would get boring. You know, the first week they might pop for Ryback, and they might even start cheering it a little bit. But when Lars Sullivan comes out, they really pop. And then that TV shot of him after being interviewed every week, being like, "I'm a badass," and then on a stretcher, like,
I want to see if legit, if this legit happens now.
Oh, you think they would take that?
I mean, hey, they look.
See,
can you imagine this
Ryback? Where are you at, bro?
Maybe not with Ryback, but maybe with somebody else. But I could just saying.
Well, you know, Ryback, I'm sticking up for you, bro. You hate me, Ryback, but I'm actually making a spot for you, for Christ's sake, on the goddamn show. And now there's no commitment. Ryback doesn't have to come back, and he can come back for 4 weeks. I almost guarantee that guy would take that. Why wouldn't Ryback Reeves take that? That's such a great offer. And yeah, you could do that with so many different people if it didn't work out with him.
There's no fat chick to push the pool.
But that would make him hilarious too, by the way, because he's so he would be. I don't think he realizes that he's not like the Ultimate Warrior. Like Ultimate Warrior really felt like that was the Warrior. Ryback kind of feels like a little bit of comedy, and if he did that, it would be funny. I don't know. The only thing that I'm worried about with that story that I just came up with, that idea, is that it's a little bit too much comedy involving Lars Sullivan we're bringing in to be a badass. That's my only concern with it. But
they've done that with Strowman, though. They've dabbled a little. I mean, you dabble at just the right times and give it enough space to breathe, or you just focus on the right things. Like fucking Strowman had the fucking the giant base that he broke over fucking Elias. I mean, that was funny as hell to me, but it's still just about balancing the right way. But hear that, Vince? You listen to the fans. We want Ryback squashed in fucking 4 weeks while promoting his shitty products. So
yeah, man, I'm telling you, that idea. I don't care what anybody says.
I love it.
That to me sounds hilarious. It's not quite Elias's guitar breaking in his hands or whatever. Braun Strowman, whatever the fuck that was. Remember that? That was weird. So let me play a couple donations here because we're real behind.
Merry Christmas, you pussy. Merry Christmas, you pussy. Merry Christmas, you pussy.
Die, dick bunnies.
Broken Lion. The fuck?
Dick bunnies.
Die, dick bunnies. Look at Natalia. Eat it up. It's a sandwich, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Help.
Enjoy the brown hole salad.
the brown hole salad. By the way, people have been asking. I forgot to say it. Jake DeMarco had some kind of little minor surgery thing the other day with all his issues, so he is not here tonight because he is in a bed. So he's gonna be okay, I think. But I guess he had some kind of
exhausted.
Yeah, some kind of minor injection or surgery yesterday. So hopefully he's okay. Although super chat.
Joe is a failure. Let's beast with Recon, bruh.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's beast.
Thank you, sir, for the donation. Thank you. Super chat. Fade to black.
Where's Big Sexy tonight? AKA Jake.
Oh, well, there you go. I just answered it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fade to Black. He's okay. We talked to him. He's out, man.
Yeah.
Those injections fuck you up that he gets.
Shit bomb.
I watched TNA Impact Wrestling from 2007 to 2014 being hopeful that they would get good enough to challenge WWE, but the problem was they tried to be too much like WWE. I feel if Hogan and Derek didn't come in, they would be a lot better by now.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, because they were on a roll. Broken Lion, thank you. Yeah, because Connor, I mean, I'll pause the donations real quick so we can talk about that real quick. They were kind of on a roll, and I think they felt like to get to the next level, they sort of took that risk of, well, let's bring in Hogan and Bischoff, and quite honestly, even though I watched them once in a while, that got me to watch them every week, and then they started saying things like, we're going to take on Raw. Remember one night they were on Monday? And it's silly to think about, but they had a lot of ratings at that time.
They had a great thing going because they had a great balance of like the main eventers in the mid card and like the new talent. Like even though they had like Sting and Angle and
Jeff Hardy at the time,
Hardy, Nash, they had a bunch of like, legends or vets. There was enough like original star power that was
there.
Have
Scott
the
Steiner? Did they have Scott Steiner then too? I mean, not that he's that great, but
yeah,
they actually had him.
Do you ever see the infamous Scott Steiner math promo?
Oh my god, yeah, but I didn't see it live.
Oh, you gotta see the whole. It's fucking absurd.
I've seen the clip of it.
Oh my god. But anyway, yeah, Steiner was even there too, and so they had like the right balance of like everything. And then once Hogan and Bischoff came in, they just brought in like a sea of ex-WWE guys. They had the fucking Nasty Boys in there at one point.
Yeah.
Remember Orlando Jordan? He fucking was doing the weird like fucking so out there shit. Like oh my god. Like he was coming out with like like almost like a New Orleans like headdress from Mardi Gras and then covering himself in fucking right
lotion. After he failed in ECW WWE. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, I remember thinking, wow.
They brought in Van Dam, which was kind of cool. I will say that, but like they just brought in like unnecessary people. Val Venus, I think, was there at one point. There was just like it just wasn't needed. If Hogan and Bischoff was just them, I think it would have been a lot better. As opposed to like, hey, we're coming in, let's bring all our friends with us.
Yeah, didn't it feel? It felt like it felt a little bit like when the NWO got too big, or when the invasion in WWE was happening, where it was the same feeling. Like it was like for a second there was a moment of like sudden pleasure, like, oh look, the Nasty Boys. But then after like a few seconds, you realized there was like really no substance to it, and it didn't make sense.
No. And I went to, I was actually thinking about this. I went to, which one was it? 06 or 07? I can't remember now. Anyway, I went to one of the lockdowns that was here in Massachusetts. It was a fucking amazing show.
Pretty sure it was 07.
And it was, I'm trying to remember the card. I know it was like Joe and Angle was in the main event. They had a bunch of X Division guys. It was fucking great stuff. But they had like just the right amount of balance where you could still like enjoy everything. And then once they came in, I just felt like they brought, again, to me, it's not Hogan and Bischoff themselves. I think if it was just them and not like their and friends coming with them, I think it would have been a little bit better, or a good amount better. But when they brought in just fucking way too many other people, it was just like, Jesus fuck. They had like fucking 4 factions at one time feuding each other. Like, fucking come on.
Yeah, it was very confusing. And watching it, it reminded me of the bad WCW. Not quite, but it was close to the bad WCW.
It was close, yeah.
But it was like slightly better, but I don't know. That's arguable, I guess.
The new Daniel Bryan shown tendencies of Tommaso Ciampa. AJ punching Vince, is it supposed to be him pulling a Gargano, finding his darker self to get the belt back? To draw fans, need a good channel, presented more story consistent with unpredictability.
Goon, thank you for the donation. I'll stop them again to answer that. Goon, thank you. We've been told a lot that Vince doesn't pay a whole hell of a lot of attention to a lot of things, other things the most. So I would be willing to bet that it's just Vince trying to draw this character out of AJ, because AJ's become pretty stale, and he's a good guy. And I think a lot of what they're realizing is these guys as these good guys, just it's not working. It's like, and that's why everybody's going heel. But it feels like everybody does. Everybody has to have an edge to them. And I almost think that they're in the back thinking, let's make everybody have an edge. We can't go Attitude Era because we can't go TV 14. But like we really need to start giving everybody an unpredictable edge. And I think that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, I think they're doing that with I think they're giving AJ the Vince McMahon rub, not to be confused with the Pat Patterson rub, which is a completely different thing.
Yeah, that's behind a tree.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is. It's like, hey, if he's on camera with me and he hits me, he's gonna get a lot of ratings. Like, I mean, I don't know. I definitely get the idea. I mean, Daniel Bryan did an amazing job with the heel turn that he's doing. I don't know if they're turning AJ heel, but I think you're right. I think they're trying to add more to AJ to make him a more bigger star than he already is. That's my only guess. But man, the amount of fucking memes I've seen from the punch is fucking hilarious.
It was a good punch too. It
was. Vince is like a fucking puny bitch slap. Yeah, like, I went back and watched it a couple times. Like he's like, "What are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do, pal?"
The first time I saw it, it was like the cuff. See, Vince does this thing where
dolphin flippers.
I've seen Vince do this before. He does this not like a slap. He does like a shove slap.
You're gonna fly on you.
Yeah, and I don't remember how AJ sold it, but it didn't look the greatest. It kind of looked like it was.
He fucking decked him though.
But then then AJ,
beautiful.
And maybe that's part of it. I mean, but then AJ waffled him, and then that was pretty funny. And it was at the end of SmackDown, like an Easter egg almost, because you're like, oh, I'm reading everything that's happening. Oh, they did it all. Yeah. Okay, I guess it's time to go. Oh wait, what's this? This isn't on the script. This isn't on my the leaked
slap
news.
You square in the neck.
So that way, yeah. So if you stuck around for what was, and by the way, real quick review, not to go into a review about these shows, but Raw and SmackDown, with them basically not trying, them saying we're taping, so we're just going to have wrestling matches and get out of here. The shows, I thought, ended up being slightly better than the normal shows. You know, obviously the criticism is there's not enough good storytelling, but the wrestling was so decent that the shows, to me, ended up being slightly better than those bombs of sleeper shows because the wrestling was decent.
Yeah, I actually caught up with them after the fact. I didn't watch them when they happened, but what I saw, I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty. Yeah, this is pretty much better than we've seen the last like month or so, which is weird because you'd think that 2 live shows on a weekly basis would be better than 2 taped shows during the holiday seasons. Like, it's fucking what a mind fuck that is.
Dude, it's so weird, and it's obvious that it's because they said we'll go out there and wrestle a long time and kill up some time because we're not going to write too much because we don't want to start all these stories when they're spending now probably brainstorming what they're going to do when they launch this new product, so to speak, that they might launch. That we'll see what happens. Not next week, but the week after, because we're gonna think that this week coming up, this New Year's show, is also going to be more delayed.
It's 2 weeks of mulligans, basically.
Yeah. So
these don't count.
The real judging is going to happen that first week after the second Raw of 2019. So, is that right? Am I correct?
Yeah, no, you're right. The that would be January the 7th and the 8th. So good timing too, because that's right after Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, as soon as Wrestle Kingdom's over, people might even get a little hyped from watching Wrestle Kingdom. People that stopped watching might watch Wrestle Kingdom. That could plug a few hardcores back into. Oh, I check WWE out for a second.
I'm gonna lose a lot of sleep this week.
Yeah, this is so this next week again. It's gonna be another bullshit delay, and then we'll get to hopefully whatever they're gonna do coming up in the future. WWE, feel free to call me. Joe Cronin Show at yahoo.com. It's better than what you're doing. I'll tell you that.
Super chat.
And hire Connor, too. He fucking filled out the app.
I'm going to bed. Night, night, Joe.
The Goon. Go to bed. Go to bed, Goon. Good night. Thank you for the $2, Goon. But you're lying because I see another $5 donation coming up in a few. So you didn't go to bed. What the hell, Goon?
Joe Connor, this is just my opinion, but I think what would help bring wrestling back is to do conversal shit. It would bring interest.
Depends.
Yeah,
it depends on what they do.
Look at what they just did with Roman Reigns being like, he's got cancer. Look, he's got to answer to God. People freaked out.
Yeah, the thing, I always hear people say, like, I want the Attitude Era back. I want the extreme shit. I want the TV14 thing. And then when they do something like that, they're like, oh, Dean should have apologized. Like, fuck off. Like, you can't have no, you can't have fucking both.
Listen,
it's bullshit.
Roman is on board with this. Like, if I'm a wrestler, as horrible as it is, if I'm going through cancer treatment, and I have 3 kids. If I'm on WWE TV, I have 3 kids, and this is my job. I have cancer. I would tell them to use it. Use it all they could.
Yeah.
Because that's just the mentality of people who have entertainers, wrestlers. Please use it. In fact, use it as best you can, because when I come back from this thing, the one positive we'll have from the whole thing is, well, first of all, that I made it. Second of all, that we were able to do so much with it. If life gives you whatever the fuck they say, lemons, you make lemonade, that's what you do with that. It's not a fucking, it's not necessarily disrespect or whatever. And if people get angry about it, I don't even care. If smarks get mad at it legitimately because they don't like the storyline, good. If people get mad at it because they're emotionally invested in Roman, good. If people get mad at it who don't even like Roman, but they think it's despicable, good. As far as I'm concerned, anything that gets people angry at this point is fine with me. And I know that people, there's bad heat and good heat. At this point, I'll take any heat the way the fucking wrestling business is right now. So if I'm Roman, go for it, guys, even though he's got a daughter and whatever.
I used to book, fun fact, I used to have my own like little small indie promotion, and it happened right when my dad passed. I used that as an angle.
Yeah.
Because it got a reaction out of people, and people knew like the real thing that was going on, and because I was like kind of like the managerial role, but people knew who I was, and I was using it to like lift up a heel manager that we were doing, and he kind of made a snide remark, and it got people attention. The next month, we had the biggest crowd we ever had.
Yeah, it's just like, why not use it? And besides, it kind of helps you, to be honest. Like, it helps you to, in a weird way, like you're kind of like getting therapy from it in a bizarre way. It's not actually making you go, oh no. You are. It's weird. It's not. It's uncomfortable a little bit, but it's. I don't know. Yeah, it depends on the person. I guess some people wouldn't be comfortable, but if you're comfortable with it, if Roman Reigns said like, "I didn't appreciate that," that's different. Now it's like, whoa, wait a minute. He wasn't on board with this, but you guys did that. And if he came out and was like, "My daughter had to watch the show," talking to
Imagine if that's what turns him heel.
What's that? That they talked about his cancer?
Yeah.
That would be
Imagine
crazy.
Imagine that like storyline. How crazy that'd be. Like, listen, you guys went a little too far. You didn't have to air the part with Dean talking about my cancer and stuff and then just spurn off of that.
Yeah, well, he could use that as a face, though, too, because then the crowd would get behind that. Like, yeah, fuck them. And the people are already going to be cheering for him. Like, but...
Yeah, probably more of a babyface reaction. But either way, that'd be interesting stuff.
I mean, he's coming back full babyface, but wouldn't it be...
Yeah.
I know this is crazy, because every month it was like, how can we turn Roman heel again? And they never did. But wouldn't it be funny when he comes back if he's going to get an ovation, like, unbelievable ovation.
Yeah, he's going to get a ridiculous pop.
But imagine if in the same night, or if the next week or whatever, he went heel. That'd be such a weird thing to do that. And that's something Vince would do. They
did it with fucking Seth, remember?
Yeah.
So when Seth came back, he attacked Roman Reigns as a heel. He got a monster babyface pop. The same night, the next night on Raw, they debuted his 24 special on the network. So it was like a mini documentary of how he came back from injury. And so it was like, the redemption, he's coming back, the underdog, he missed WrestleMania, all this shit. And then they fucking keep him heel.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why on God's green earth are you doing that? That makes no sense.
That was stupid, dude. That goes right in line with how they're a step behind on everything. They don't really listen to the audience. They strike gold and they don't roll with it. They strike gold, then they go back to what they were going to do anyway, and then they do the thing that the fans wanted, but now it's too late. They're always out of sync. They're like a dance partner who's stepping on toes. They're like a bad wrestling. They're like Mike Bell versus Scott Steiner. Like, I don't know, like with a hip toss. That whole hip toss, that fucked up hip toss.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Scott Steiner went nuts after that missed hip toss. That's what it is. There's a step off or step behind and whatever.
Fuck yeah, I got everyone's addresses, man.
Oh,
I got
shit.
everyone's fucking addresses.
See, there's the Goon.
For change, WWE needs to be replaced as the promotion people think about when it comes to pro wrestling. A new company big enough to change perception.
Sad to say it won't happen.
Yeah, I mean, if a new company came in, they'd have to have a prime TV spot, and they would have to have like these mega angles. Goon, thank you for the $5. The only company that I can think came in and was able to garner an audience because of their storytelling has been Lucha Underground. Because recently, because it's like that, that's a company coming completely out of nowhere, starting from scratch, and they're mostly rely on those storylines in between the matches.
Yeah, it's a very different style.
It is different.
I'm calling you out, Splinter. Just you and me, in the basement this Sunday night in a hardcore match. Bring your boys with you, but I'm telling you right now, Splinter, those green fucks won't be able to help you out when you step into the ring with me.
That's great.
Joe Cronin's dog, thank you for the $5. My dog is badass, though, man. She was ready to kill for me. She was going to kill for me last night. Let me get PWP Nation's donation in, and then we'll get back to it real quick. Joe Cronin's dog, thanks. And then I'll take phone calls, too, in a minute. 339-226-6610.
Super Chat Party.
WWE using more reality is smart recently. Can't make the entire show a shoot, but we need more real-life feelings. More talking smack style content.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. PWP Nation, thank you. And that's the example, by the way. PWPNation.com. Go check out the Powerhouse. It's a great website. That is the point that we always bring up when people are like, we need the Attitude Era back. No, we don't. Daniel Bryan and all them cut great promos on that SmackDown, that Talking Smack show. How about Daniel Bryan's promo the other day on that pre-show? That was great. How about all these things that are done in NXT? These are all PG things, friendly, that work, and none of them are TV-14, so it doesn't need to be TV-14. It doesn't need to be all these things. It just has to be better. It has to have
what they're doing now.
Yeah, whatever they're doing is horrible. And that's about it, man. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about before I take a phone call?
Not that I can think of. The only thing was that on the recent BTE, they did for the Elite, they're definitely hinting at something huge coming on New Year's Eve. The Young Bucks closed out the video saying that they'll see us on New Year's Eve, so I have to wonder what the hell they're talking about. They made some more hints at maybe a promotion or some other big thing is going to happen. So, but the other thing I want to show you was, I think, let me see if I can send it to you in this clip. Did you see the Twitter video of the backyard indie wrestler getting run over by a fucking car?
Is that the one from a while ago, though, the red car?
I have to look back and see it. Yep, that's the red one.
Oh, okay, yeah, we went over this, I want to say almost a year ago. I think that's old.
Fucking nuts. Well, it's popping back up. And then the other thing was, I just retweeted it out a little earlier, was
I'll take a look at
the guy doing the suicide dive through the table. Let me tag you in on it. It's literally a 2-second clip, but I don't know why I was fucking laughing my ass off so much.
I got to check that out. The suicide dive, at least.
It's like a 2-second clip.
Let me pull it up. While I pull it up, let me go to the phones.
Let me just grab
Because
something. Well, you do that.
he's here. It's Mr. Luke Rojas. What's up, Rojas? How you doing?
Please go on a little bit more.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's see how long you can do without breathing. What's up, Joe? How you doing?
That's an ASMR, man. I mean, come on.
Just saying my name. Just saying my name is an ASMR.
Yeah.
How you guys doing here tonight on Wednesday, day after Christmas, where we all feel bad about how much we ate last night, and then
I want to burn this tree next to me.
Yeah, what's up with that, man? You get the tree right there, huh?
I have no space to do my shit, so my wife's like, "We're gonna put the tree over here." I'm like, I have like barely. Thank God my desk is on wheels, because otherwise I'm like, I have nowhere to get. She's like, "No, it looks better in the corner there." I'm like, this is like the only space I have to do my shit. So like, good thing I'm not Jewish.
It works out really well. Works out really well, though.
Take some of the ornaments off the tree and, like, smash them, and
Yeah.
then, like, put them in an enema bowl, and then put them right up your fucking ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, stuff an ornament up your ass.
I love you, Connor. But anyway, I want to talk to you.
What?
Are they setting up?
He dropped the fucking.
No, that's my.
Oh my
cat.
god, dude. Oh my god. I wish
Great timing.
I wish that was on camera. I saw it though.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm sorry, Roy.
Sorry. Anyway, what's up, Luke?
Yeah.
As I said awkwardly.
Are they setting up a Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali match at the Royal Rumble or something, or at least like next week for the championship?
I'd love to see it at the Rumble.
Because it seems like that's what they're building up to, is like sort of like maybe a last match of 2018 or something. Because it's like, I mean, it's kind of weird to have like, I mean, it's kind of cool to say that Mustafa Ali just a few weeks ago, it was a 205 live mid-carder, if you can even call it that. And now he like pinned the WWE champion, something that Almez hasn't been able to do. And he kind of looks exactly like Mustafa Ali. Not anything racist, so people in the chat, please don't get angry at me.
Well, isn't Cian Almas has been reported to be upset with what's going on, and I agree. This guy is like the new could be the new Shawn Michaels, and he's barely booked.
All he seems to do is lose to the WWE champion or like tag with him.
Yeah,
like he's next. He's like that guy who's next to the WWE champion but never gets a shot at it.
We can't beat him.
It's
Yeah,
fucking weird.
He should be competing for a mid card belt and maybe eventually winning one, but instead,
give the title to Rusev, which you were talking earlier about how they're like one step like off.
Yep.
That whole Rusev Day thing was 5 fucking months ago. Nobody gives a shit about Rusev anymore.
Yep, they missed the opportunity.
I hope he fucking dies for all I care. I hope Rusev gets some kind of fucking...
On Rusev Day?
But now you got people who probably care about Cian Almas. Like, he needs to win stuff. And now Rusev is the champion.
They're going to push him 5 months later.
They're way behind. You're right. They're just way. People think a lot faster now, especially the younger kids. Think a lot faster. The minute you see something, that's when you got to strike with it, because that's what everyone's thinking. It in another month, everyone's thinking something completely different.
And that's hard to control. for WWE, and sometimes they're like just a little, like a few weeks off maybe, or sometimes like that, because people can be so sporadic. But like with Rusev, you've had all the fucking time in the world with this guy. I mean, people were hot for this guy through December of last year till even like July of this year. And then you fucking didn't do anything with him for like an entire year. And then you have him win the U.S. title, a title that nobody gives a fucking shit about. That Shinsuke Nakamura, I forgot that he even had it. He was wrestling.
That belt's gone to shit.
He was wrestling in a bathing suit against fucking Rusev.
It's fucking true. It's like a swimsuit from the 50s.
He looked like some kind of retarded fucking dolphin trainer. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Fucking dude, he looks like some kind of retarded dolphin trainer. Oh my god, dude.
No speak English.
Did Tommy Head C come up with his attire?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude, a retarded dolphin trainer.
Oh, it's so good. Well, fucking, they also ruined the fucking Rusev Day split up with Aiden. Fucking no pay-per-view match, just a 5-second squash.
That happened. That
Yeah.
happened, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure fucking did.
Did Aiden English die of herpes? Where the fuck is he?
I think he's out dolphin training with Shinsuke Nakamura. At least he will be now.
Dude, what the fuck, dude? Look at him.
God, the more I see it,
Come
the
here,
more you're
Shamu.
absolutely right.
Samu, come here. Samu, come here.
This is Fripper.
This is Fripper.
I can picture him like scuba diving with the whale or with the dolphin.
Whatever you do, don't touch the broho.
You know dolphins molest people, right? That's probably why Shinsuke's so fucked up.
Yeah, they hump the shit. They hump the shit out of people.
What if that's his story? What if like he turned heel not because he was angry that he didn't win at WrestleMania, but because a dolphin molested him? Sort of like the Miz and his random dad story that he brought out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck is the Miz talking about? My dad was never proud of me.
Oh my god,
that was weird. Like, what the fuck is that? It was very elaborate, though. At least they thought of something. I mean
at least the Miz, he cut a good promo. But what is the end game? Like, what are they thinking? I think what WWE realized is that they're trying to do.
Someone just said in the chat, need to bro frish.
Look at it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! I'm trying to find a picture of him wearing the whole entire goddamn outfit, because the whole outfit just looks.
Just look up Rusev versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, I found it now. I found it. I think I got the pictures. Because the whole outfit, I mean, it's just.
Does he have swimmies on for his entrance?
Oh yeah, there he is.
like little floaties.
Dude, what is this? Well, so I think it might have been Leah or something the other day that said it. She was like, what the fuck is Shinsuke wearing?
Seriously.
He's going for the scorpion look.
In this corner, coming from the land of the slit eye, the retarded dolphin trainer.
Oh god, if you show him like backing up when he does that, like all that jumping on the ground with Rusev thing, it's extra funny. Like it's really.
Where'd you find that?
Like right here, like at 2:00 whatever. Like look at this, right? Oh my god!
Is that from the fucking match?
Yeah, it's in the match. Oh.
Jesus.
I've got to move for Shinsuke.
Hold on, let me get Hold on,
Joe. I think we found the new Peacock donation. You just got to put a dolphin squeaking to that.
Yeah, if I get a dolphin. Watch this. Oh my god, dude. Watch this.
I summoned the dolphin. Does anybody remember Shark Boy from TNA?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what Shinsuke could dress up like. He could be Dolphin Boy. He has like a fin on his head.
He does look like
God.
Shark Boy. Well, this video is not going to make any money now, but oh well.
Oh my God.
Thanks for the donations.
I gotta move for Shinsuke. Hiroshima. That can be.
Oh my God! No! Oh my God! No!
Pearl Harbor.
Oh no!
That would be his like setup.
I fucking.
That's so fun.
Thanks, Luke. Luke Rojas, the racist Luke
God.
Rojas. I gotta move for Shinsuke. Hiroshima.
Oh my God.
Oh God, that's fucked up. What the fuck?
You gotta make that donation.
I didn't
Joe,
say
my
that.
phone is about to die, so this is my last donation, but great show tonight, and next time you're in the shower I will be watching. Wink wink, just kidding, just wanted to say something creepy. Peaches and cum.
Oh, thank you, Brokenlion. Well, if I point my phone in the right direction and you can hack, you might be able to see me, actually, to be honest. Who knows what the hell they're seeing, Brokenlion. Thank you. Love you, too, by the way.
Man. I'm trying not to wake up anybody that laughs so loud.
I got everyone's fucking addresses, Mom.
Where is Famous B?
Problem with Lucha Underground and other indie promotions is that they are on smaller networks.
That's exactly right, CJ Crumb. That's kind of what I was saying earlier. It's like, well, they're over on that channel, so they rely on buzz from only the wrestling world and whatever that channel's audience is. And most of the audience on those channels is between 500,000 or 300,000 to maybe 2 million. So, again, you have a ceiling there. People aren't going to search out on, wherever. I mean, El Rey's pretty big, though. El Rey is pretty big.
It's big, but I think it's.
But it's a niche.
It's
a Spanish speaking, mostly orientated. Content.
I mean, who's gonna go into fucking pursuit for fucking TNA?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are watching it probably, but it's geared towards Latino. I mean, so there's a large audience for that there, the Latino community. But a lot of other people might not find their way over to that. All the whites, all the honkies out there might not find their way over there. Buenos noches, El Rey, motherfucker. So let me take a phone call. Fuck it. Let me take another phone call. 336. Sorry, bro. I just hung up on you. My bad. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, 336. I got 727 though. What's up, 727?
Hey, it's the Great Deity.
Hey, Great Deity. How you doing, man?
Good, good. I just wanted to comment on Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke Nakamura. What about him?
Oh, need to brofresh.
Need to blowfish. No, what's going on though?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm hoping, I'm hoping that I don't know, upcoming this January that I don't know. I'm getting the feel of like after seeing these two past shows, like I don't want to compare it to like my childhood, like when I was watching the Attitude Era, but it's getting very close there because I'm seeing a lot of more title. I don't know, like they're putting the title on the line on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. I'm seeing a lot more of that, and in the past I didn't see that. These past few months, this year, I didn't see that. It reminded me a lot of like the Attitude Era.
I don't think they're getting anywhere near the Attitude Era, but I get what you're saying with the title on the line. I only think that worked in the Attitude Era because things were so emotional at the time that it worked really well. And if it's not very emotional, then to me it's not a good idea. So I really think the title needs to be defended on these pay-per-views only mostly because there's not the emotion of the Attitude Era. So when the emotion's down and you have that, it devalues the belt. Ashley Rose
Night,
Nova.
by the way, free month of Power Slam TV BODYSLAMFREE.
Sweet.
Night. We got free Power Slam TV. Body Slam free. Use the code. Thanks, Ashley. Check it out. I'm body fat free right now because I didn't eat anything tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Ashley. What's up? But yeah, that's what I think about that, and I don't think we're anywhere near the Attitude Era. But I think if they do that, it would be a mistake because again, they don't have the emotion drawn into those title changes. That's just my opinion.
I don't know. It just felt very like fresh and different to like I don't know, like just same match.
What match you talking about? You talking about the Rusev thing?
Yeah, like that, and then I believe the titles were switched. The tag titles were switched over, weren't they?
Super chat.
Charlotte's chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Oh God, man, she's got some bazookas on her chest, bro. CJ Crumb, thanks, man.
The women's title also. I know she wasn't gonna win, but I don't know. Just a lot of title matches, recently, and we haven't seen that in a while. Like it's been a long time since like a whole bunch of titles were put on the line just randomly on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown.
I mean, I don't really think so. I think it kind of happens every once in a while, especially when they want to change and then they have a title change. They've actually, I feel like they've been doing that a little bit. We even saw the title change hands at a house show because they've been so crazy with it. And I think that was to boost the house show's ticket sales, but the ticket sales went down because WWE doesn't understand that if you don't make the drama in the TV show exciting every week, people won't go to the house shows. They think if they put the title on the line at house shows, people will say, "Oh, anything can happen in house shows. Maybe we should go to the house show." But they're incorrect. The excitement level is low on Raw, so therefore people are less excited to go to a house show. So do
you think that's the beginning of like the change in writing, maybe, or something? Maybe something starting to happen.
I don't know. That doesn't tell me anything. What will tell me if there's a change is if the week-to-week storytelling is good. Whether the belts are on the line or the belts are not on the line, that doesn't mean shit. All that it matters is the week-to-week storytelling. So, like with with our ideas about Lars Sullivan and stuff like that, things like that happening, or stories happening, or whatever, that's going to tell you how things are going. To me, when they put the belt on the line, that a lot of times that just tells you how desperate they are. That, we have nothing else to do, so put the belt on the line. When it should be on the line at the pay-per-view shows or the special events or whatever.
Yeah, God, I hope Nikki Cross really ends up with sanity. I hope they don't single her out and away from them.
I brought you a present. It's my account. Sorry, no, I don't know.
Play with Nikki.
Man, creeping me out. No, but
that dolphin picture was kind of creepy.
That was sexual for some reason. I pretty much think that's about it. I think we covered almost everything.
Yeah.
The only little thing to mention real quick is Cody Rhodes saying it wasn't squandered in WWE, but I don't think he necessarily walked back those comments about the writing at the end. Some people said he did. I don't think he did. We heard it from his mouth that they did squander him at that point. So, I don't know what to tell you about that. But I think he meant overall, and I think that's true for like 80% of the time he was there, 90% of the time. They used him. They tried to do things with him, but it was those last two ideas that they could have done that they didn't do because of Roman, and that's usually what I key back into. And he didn't necessarily deny that.
And I think he was kind of frustrated with the Stardust shit at the end too. So
yeah, they went a little too long with that after he poured as much as he could into it. And whatever. I don't know. Kids liked it, though. Weirdly, I mean, my son liked it. My son was like, I like Stardust. So it was something to some kids, and a lot of kids did like it. So, I mean, unfortunately for him, it was only the kids mostly, but at least he had some kind of connection. But the kids are really dwindling away. Like, that's the thing, is all this PG and everything. You look out in the crowd, where the fuck are the kids? It's guys our age.
Yeah.
I mean, really? Look at the crowd. It's very bizarre. There's a few kids smattered around. Then there's families, but then there's a lot of guys in their 20s, 30s, and even 40s in that crowd, and that is very bizarre. So
especially the shows we go to, so yay.
And you're not cultivating a new audience with that, I'll tell you that. Well, guys, everybody listening, thank you guys for the support tonight with the donations and stuff. Welcome back. If you're back from your break or whatever is going on. Tomorrow night, we didn't get to the Kevin Spacey thing really, but tomorrow night I'm going to be playing the Kevin Spacey video because it's so fucking weird. But I'll show you a quick second of it. Now, what I understand is he's doing this on his own. This has nothing to do with the House of Cards show. But I guess I didn't watch House of Cards. I guess his name on that
I love that show.
I think. Oh, really? His name was Frank, right?
Frank Underwood.
Okay.
The initials. It's Lars Sullivan's new opponent.
Yeah, it should be, man. I like that idea. Come on, WWE.
One thing that I noticed that really piqued my interest, but I don't think he was the Ronda Rousey and Natalya match on Raw. I don't know about you, but I saw little elements of storytelling that they never really do anymore in that match. Is that weird?
Eric Gonzalez, no, I think we've seen little hints of better detail in matches and little bits of better hints at that they could try something. And I'm not prepared to jump on board. Eric Gonzalez, thank you for the $4. But I have a feeling they are aware of it. Now, I mean, we know they're okay. I don't have a feeling they're aware of it. They literally came out on Raw and told everybody they're aware of it. So I'm not some prognosticator. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens though. But yeah, Kevin Spacey did a video, and he's not coming back to House of Cards, I believe. And I guess actors are upset about this video, and the video is called "Let Me Be Frank." But now here's the other thing. I always thought Kevin Spacey had a regular accent, and in this video he's doing a Southern accent, which I believe would be the character. So I didn't know that. So when I first saw this video about "Let Me Be Frank," and he's talking to you in the Southern accent, I'm like, wow, Kevin Spacey really has a Southern accent? I didn't know that. This is creepy as shit.
Well, let me hear. I'll tell you if it's the character or not, because I love that fucking show.
I absolutely know it's the character now. It definitely is, but it's still creepy. It's still creepy.
I know what you want.
Whoa.
Oh, sure, they may have tried to separate us, but what we have is too strong.
He's literally talking about the audience and what's happened in Hollywood.
Yeah, because that's what he does in the show, is that he breaks the fourth wall and talks to the audience from time to time. So, this is fucking wow. Okay.
So because I didn't know that, this came off as extra creepy to me. Okay? Imagine I don't know House of Cards, and I'm watching this guy who's charged with like touching little boys and stuff like that.
Yep. The Santa apron does not do him any favors.
And the Santa apron and like what?
Powerful. I mean, after all, we shared everything, you and I. I told you my deepest...
Sounds like he's talking to one of his victims.
...darkest secret.
Allegedly.
I showed you exactly what people are capable of.
His dick.
I shocked you with my honesty, but mostly I challenged you and made you think.
Your dick.
And you trusted me, even though you knew you shouldn't.
I'm like, oh my god, dude! What
so we're not
get a Cosby
no
vibe here.
Yeah, imagine Cosby doing his. Well, you hear me, try me. I'm putting the fucking.
I showed you the thing that you were the most afraid of, but you still trusted me, even though you shouldn't.
Dude, I want to see Cosby's version of this, and Jared from Subway. That would be a good one too. Hi everyone.
I showed you a 5 long foot long, even though you trusted me.
I showed you a 5 foot long, and you trusted me. Your boys trusted me. And what did I do? I took pictures of them, and I saved those pictures.
If the Cosby one would just have Mrs. Claus all over the apron, but she's passed out
with a cucumber in her ass. Oh my God! Who else could there be? Jerry Sandusky with a football.
And besides, I know what you want.
I know what you want to do.
I knew what they all
of course,
wanted.
Some
so I put them to sleep.
Believed everything and had just been waiting with bated breath to hear me confess it all. They're just dying to have me declare that everything said is true and that I got what I deserved. Wouldn't that be easy if it was all so simple? Only you and I both know it's never that simple, not in politics and not in life.
Oh, so
this is amazing, dude. So I don't want to play any more of it, but dude, you got
this is the next Jell-O commercial. Swear to fucking God,
dude. It's got 161,000 likes, 50,000 dislikes. It's got a better like ratio, dude. This has a better like ratio than YouTube Rewind. You know what I mean? Like you.
Nah, fuck that rewind shit. I want to see Kevin Spacey being Frank. Ugh.
The YouTube Rewind has 2.4 million likes, but
10 million,
14 million dislikes.
Oh, and including from you.
I want to know, yeah, including from me. I want to know what fucking sick sadistic scum fuckers gave this a fucking like. That's what I want to know. Who are these 2.4 million people around that actually thought that the YouTube Rewind was good? Now let's look at Let Me Be Frank, possibly an alleged child molester. 161,000 likes, only 49,000 dislikes. But you know what? You know what, though? I don't know the facts either. Innocent until proven guilty, and I don't know the facts about Kevin Spacey. Maybe he's guilty. I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe you know. I don't know.
You know, somewhere out there, Bill Cosby's watching the video saying, well, so you're saying there's a chance.
yeah. Maybe I'll make my video now.
Well, how to go whip up some of that delicious Jell-O pudding and let's go film us a commercial.
Dude, if you want to die laughing, picture O.J. Simpson doing one of these. While carving
with a black glove on.
While carving a turkey. While carving a fucking turkey.
Oh, but you wouldn't believe the worst without evidence, would you? You wouldn't rush to judgments without facts, would you?
You're stalling.
But you wouldn't rush to facts. By the way, I don't believe all the poppycock and undertone talk. What I believe in is ass rape.
Hooray. Don't you know that her ass was out there before I got there?
Dude, what the fuck with this shit? Let's get the fuck out of here. Check out Connor. YouTube.com/okfaber. But just look up OKFabe on YouTube. You'll find Connor's channel.
Get this ornament out of my ass now.
You'll find him on Twitter @OKFabe, and you'll find him on the Fight app. You'll find Connor on the Fight app on Friday nights at 8 p.m. with his show on the Fight app. I'm gonna do that every time.
I need you to do the commercial for me now.
Yeah, I think it would really work well. Like, hey, Connor's on the Fight app. Fighto. And now I don't know what I'm saying. All right, we're getting out of here. Thank you guys. Jake will be back next week. We hope. He had some injections. He's really sick, under the weather. That's why I wasn't here. He says hi. He's at Countdown on Twitter. I'm at Corrupted Pod on Twitter. That's at Corrupted POD. And also want to remind you that a couple days ago, me and Leah recorded episode 5 of our podcast. That's up on Patreon. Why do you support me on Patreon? Number 1, either you want to just give me money to support me to keep my show going. Number 2, you like bonus content and extra content. Well, there's 30 hours of extra content a month on Patreon. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Or you're somebody who likes to support the show with money and also get shit back and get a bunch of bonus content. That's most people like both things. Usually when both things happen, that's when people want to drop $5 a month or $10 or $2 or whatever it is. So patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. I'm going to be recording Morning Madness right after this, and it's going up. So look for that. It'll probably be about 30 minutes to an hour. Lots of questions from you guys. Lots of stuff to talk about the house situation, the shit I did on Christmas, and a bunch of other bullshit all there for you. And now I'm going to go sodomize myself. I'll see you guys on Patreon later if you're listening over there. Download it all to your phones or your computers in audio form podcast. You love podcasts. I know you do. So patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Links down below. See you next week for more. See you tomorrow night on my other channel, youtube.com/Corrupted Podcast for Thursday Night Throwdown. And then Friday night,
good time.
Throwdown. So yeah, I can do it too. And that was so gay. And then Friday night, it's Monetize This back here on this channel. Monetize This is going to be big this Friday night. See you there for that. Bye.
Tells you what it is, homie, and you better love it. And if not 2 words, bitch, go suck it. JCS, and everybody know we the best. And everybody loves Joe Cronin. That's why we all love the tune. And everybody loves out of nowhere. Monetize this, bitch, it's in the air. Run, SmackDown review, so don't you fear. So tune in every night right here. Yeah, it's JCS, and everybody know we the best, and everybody loves Joe